Now I'm back to long toss and flat ground. I'll be throwing sides in about 3 weeks.
Are you one of those guys you're going to mark the anniversary? You know, when you get back to mid-June again, or are you just going to shrug it off and keep going?
Know. Yeah. It just seems like I didn't necessarily look at it as a goal to get back. I looked at it as my job to get back and an opportunity to pitch in the big leagues. It's going to be a big deal. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to pop champagne bottles or anything like that. I think I'm going to I think I'm going to look at it as a blessing and a reward for doing what I needed to do and then getting out of here. It really has gone by pretty quick, to be honest with you. I think, all things considered, yeah, I mean, the monotony of coming in and doing the same thing every day, but I mean, that's no different than what a lot of people do. So I think it's just looking forward to getting back and knowing that, if you put into it, you'll get what you put into it. So that's pretty much how we try to deal with every day.
You're getting close to climbing back up on a mound too. That's a pretty significant step.
Yeah.
In the recovery.
I mean, 3 weeks. 3 weeks does not seem far at all, because when you're told you're not going to pitch again for another year, I mean, those time frames start it puts things in perspective. So yeah, when you're told 3 weeks, it's kind of like, all right. And it was the same thing for the first time I picked up a ball and threw.
Yeah. When do you get to the point where you start, I guess, getting your muscles to relearn, what they were doing before when things were going good and you were repeating and delivering everything? When do you get to the point where that starts? Do you start that now in little stages, or is that something that comes a lot later?
Yeah, I've at first when I was told a year, you kind of have that idea. Well, if I push the envelope, if I go real hard at it, I'm gonna notice that I'm gonna be ahead of schedule. I'm gonna notice these things that I'm either where I need to be or where I'm ahead of schedule, and that's not necessarily the case, because you might go out and you might play catch and you're throwing and you feel good. The first few days I threw, I didn't feel anything. I felt great. And then you start to do things that your mind goes back to how you used to throw, and then you start to use the muscles the way you used to throw, and you can feel the pulling, you could feel some tightness, you can feel those things, and your body's adjusting the whole time. Your body's healing those micro tears, in the muscle, and you're really healing pretty much the whole time. You're breaking down and building back up with every day. So when you go out there and you throw 60 feet, 90 feet, 120 feet, those are all increments. The back-to-back days, those are increments. Incorporating flat ground or sides, or those are all different steps that you necessarily don't really think about, because it just seems like throwing for us would be second nature, which it kind of is, but physically it's not, because they took a knife and they cut into your elbow. The one thing that I hear is take it slow. Just don't rush it, because while you want to get back as soon as possible, it's just such a long amount of time that it's not worth it to rush it just to be back, a couple weeks ahead of schedule, just to, because I mean those effects of rushing, I haven't had any setbacks, knock on wood, but they sound like, it could go from something where you thought it might be a week or two to several months or long.